Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, hello, good evening. God bless you. Hello. I pray all is well with you. Thank you so much for TikTok. Hello, TikTok. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. To all of you who are joining me on the other channels, to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of you, thank you. I appreciate you joining me tonight. Tonight is a topic that I have to do. A lot of young people, I'd say young people, a lot of young women, they wonder about their boyfriends, they feel potential husband. Why are they pretty much man-childs? And, some can take that as tongue in cheek, like, that's just how men are. They can be kids. Well, not in that sense. This could be for the negative. So one of the key things about being a man-child, Nobody likes to take responsibility for their actions. No one likes to do what they have to do in order to grow. So here tonight, we're going to jump into this, and I hope that you learned something, and I hope you pretty much get an understanding that it's for that man to grow. It's for that young man to grow into the man he is called to be, if you're going to be with him. So, ladies, this is for you tonight. These things that I'm going to be talking about are going to be for you. And I hope you understand that I mean everything in love. But somebody has to do it. Somebody has to talk about it. So let's be about it. Tonight, this is Love Works. My name is Ricardo Arce. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go. So those of you just joining me tonight, thank you so much. This is Love Works. I touch on a lot of topics when it comes down to relationships, because I want to help you grow. Let it be relationships from mother and father, romantic, situationships, you name it. I tackle it, and I try to bring understanding. So hopefully you won't get back into those situationships, or I'll say this, bullships. All right, I'm being nice. So let's jump into this. Tonight's topic, man-child. Behaviors to recognize. You got to recognize certain behaviors from men when it comes down to a man-child. We have to look at the interpretation of it. You know, what does that look like? What is man-child meaning? Oh, it's simple. A man-child is a man who is extremely immature for his age. So you ever meet somebody pretty much they're 50, but they act like they're 25? Meeting a gentleman who looks like he has potential, but is immature in a lot of areas. And you can't have him as a husband, or you can't date him or whatever, because he's not ready. There's certain things he doesn't have ready. And it's not, maybe he doesn't not want to, he just doesn't know how, because there was no one there to rear him, specifically a man. And until he gets that, he'll probably never grow. But this is important, ladies. Signs, you have to recognize behaviors before you get involved with them. TikTok, before you get involved with them, you want to make sure you're doing all that you can to do the background. You don't know a person in 2 weeks. You don't know a person in a month. It takes a minute to learn their behavior, how they react to certain problems. Do they run? Will they protect you? It's certain slight little things that know. Do they close the door behind you? When you go into a place, when you go into your home or whatever, do they close the door behind you and lock it? Do they, walk on the outside of the sidewalk versus the inside? If you don't know what that is, you need to understand that. And I'll explain it one day when we go to etiquettes of being a man. Let's move. So, man-child signs. They throw a temper tantrum. When they don't get their way, they throw a temper tantrum. Yeah, they go off on you because the oatmeal was lumpy. They go off on you. Anything. They have a tantrum because it's not going their way. And I'm going to get deeper into that a little later. I promise you. But here's a short tale that this man has not matured in an area, because he feels that pretty much things should go his way and no way. Yeah, usually I call these particular men freeloaders. That's a short sign of a freeloader. When everything goes their way, things don't go their way because you couldn't do it for them or whatever. Freeloader. Let me move. They blame you for their issues. They blame you for their issues. If something comes up in the middle of the relationship that is bugging them, and this is who they are, they've been like this for a minute, they deflect. As soon as you call them on the carpet, they'll blame you for it. True. This is I did some counseling for someone a number of years ago. They decided to show up to their girlfriend's house thinking that she had a man there, and literally he broke the door off the hinges, and he's a big dude. And she called the cops. He leaves, he runs. She's talking on the phone with him. He says to her, well, you made me do it. Yeah, you made me do that. No, how did I make you do that? I didn't take you. No, you made me do it. That was his excuse. And he lived with that. He made her feel that she did what she did, and that's that. That's what happened. So anytime you have a man that pretty much has a temper tantrum, or he blames you for his issues, this is a man child. You need to stay away from him. You need to stay away from him. Let's move. They ask you for money, or you buy him a car, pay his bills. Man child. Ladies, you want somebody responsible to come into your life, to help you accomplish some things. Not necessarily take care of your bills, because we discussed that last night. It's not about you being your bills being paid. It's about him being responsible for his own life, so he doesn't become a headache in your life. You're talking about a man child. And believe it or not, I know this is stinging some people, but this is the facts. You want to make sure you become that man that you're supposed to be, so you can take care of her. And the women of God, talk to me. Ladies, hit that love button if you're with me. There you go. I see you. And this is something that has to be taught pretty much in some type of class, where men have to pretty much take the responsibility in their lives. And I see a lot of successful women, a lot of them who do this, where they'll take the responsibility off of his shoulders that he's supposed to be taking on. If you meet him with no job, if you meet him pretty much he's irresponsible with his money, if you meet him and he had child support payments, it's a lot of stuff. Just maybe. Listen, I know you get desperate, and I get it. I promise you, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but in your being desperate, you're better off waiting on God to send you the right one versus you taking on a project. You're taking on a project, and that project is going to cost you a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of heartache. Don't do it. Let him mature. Let him do what he needs to do. If not, you're going to find yourself in a very, very bad situation. Your credit's going to be messed up. You're going to have some issues pretty much with his baby mamas. I'm telling you what I know. And I'm telling you straight out, you can do better. You don't need a man child. And I'm talking extremes now. Every man, listen, Father, and I got some scriptures for you later. All of us, men, we like being kids at times. Big one right here. I'm a gadget freak. My wife would pretty much buy me gadgets and so forth because she just know I'm a big kid. Drones, video game consoles, or whatever. That's my relaxation. Excuse me. That's how I relax, is what I'm trying to say. But I stress to you that when it comes down to certain men, this is a habit. This is what they do. You become their mama. Yeah. Let me move. They want both. I mentioned just a second ago. They want both mommy and lover, but not a wife. They don't want a wife because a wife makes them be responsible. The wife will make them be responsible. And that's the problem. That's a big problem. They'll want a mommy, and you can sleep with them all day, but don't commit to being, no, that whole wife thing, what's in it for me? That's pretty much what they're going to pretty much come for you. And you're going to find yourself, because remember, ladies, I told you this yesterday. How you got him is how you have to keep him. Yeah. Yeah, you built him from scratch. You were the Build-A-Bear. Oh yeah, you're the Build-A-Bear. You went to Build-A-Bear, built yourself a man. Yeah, you put all the accessories on him and so forth. It costs you a lot, and then you wonder why he ups and leaves you for somebody. He was renting you. And the key things the key thing I need you to understand, that when it comes down to your walk with God, you're gonna have to learn to wait. A lot of man-child are pretty much man-child out there. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I need to move. Recognizing a man-child before you get into a relationship. How do you recognize them? Well, he is a deadbeat dad. He don't pay no bills. He has a whole bunch of kids. Just one. He doesn't take care of the business he needs to, and he expects you to be understanding about it. Let me give you the scenario, and this is to a lot, and let me be honest with you. This is straight for my black women. You better hear me. Ladies, I love you, particularly my sisters. I do. I've seen some strong, beautiful, independent women who, they know how to run a business. They know how to do things and take care of business. But they always, and I've seen this constantly, they downgrade themselves because in their mind, this is the best they can do. The devil is a liar. Listen, you're better than that. And I'm being honest with you. I know for some, you're waiting on that black man. I'm with you. I got it. He may come in a different form. I'm just saying, be open to the Lord. I'm going to wait on my black man. Got it. He may come in a different form. But real talk. And by the way, this is cross-sector. This is not just one culture. I'm just specifically talking to my sisters because I deal with them more than anything else. Deadbeat dad, he's irresponsible. You don't want that dude. Because let's say you get pregnant. What's going to happen with your baby? Yeah. And you say to yourself, well, I'll make it. That's not the point. That's not the point. You want to make sure that man, that young lady, that boy that you have, that son you have, pretty much, or that young lady you have, you want to make sure the dad's in his life, his or her life. Another thing, he's always blaming and never accepting responsibility. As I mentioned earlier, he doesn't take responsibility for his life. He doesn't want to because it puts him in a place of where he has to take responsibility for his bills, for his actions, everything that pretty much, once you call him on the carpet about it. Brother, somebody said, listen, I thought I saw something. Yep. Brenda the Builder. That's it. I love it. I'm taking that, by the way. Another thing. The man-child, shall I say, keeps creating children with one or multiple women. The man-child creates multiple children with multiple women. Irresponsible. You don't want to marry him. Let me tell you why. Because one of them baby mamas is going to get mad and they're going to show up at your doorstep. And this is a true story that happened. Young men I knew had kids, got married. Find out later he had some kids outside, didn't tell her. Well, they're married. What do you think's going to happen? Child support. Taking his check, going into their bank account for the next 18. Yeah. Because he didn't tell her. And now both of you are married, and it's their responsibility, both of your responsibility. Now, granted, Things happen. I get it. I'm not knocking that. The problem is he knew. And it wasn't just one, there were a couple of them. And that means that's pretty much a dig into their future. And that gets frustrating. So, ladies, one of the key things I tell you straight out, shake the tree. See, find out what's on that tree. The nuts and fruits, find out so it's all in the clear. Bills, past relationships, can you have kids? Can you, all of that. You want that all laid out before you jump into a relationship. Because if not, you're going to find yourself surprised 6 months, a year into your relationship, into your marriage, and you finding out A, B, and C. And the first year is hard, by the way. So I stress this to you. This is not uncommon where that comes up and they have to, and pretty much have to deal with it. So this is intuitive that you do this. Please don't play with that. Make sure I'm not frozen here. Okay, cool. I don't know why I looked like I was frozen. Cool. The next one. Let's move. Right here. Man-child syndrome and man-child psychology. I'm breaking this down just a little bit. They can become very codependent. Codependent folk. They latch onto you. They're very needy. They got to latch onto you. Let me tell you, this is a trait. Follow me. You're at work. They're calling you every 10 minutes, every pretty much half hour or whatever. No, baby, I miss you, A, B, and C. Let me tell you, pretty much give you understanding pretty much about this game. Real simple. He's keeping tabs on you to make sure you know where you are because he may be doing something. How it works. This is a sidebar, but important. I know men who will buy the young lady a dog and call it our dog. Yeah. That becomes, and I'll move just a second just to get to this point, a toxic relationship, which is a point I'm trying to make here. He buys a dog, calls it our dog with a young lady, and he's over at the house all the time. And then if the dog's at her house, he lives with mom or whatever. Well, he knows what time you get off work, and he knows what time you're going to be home because you got to feed the dog. Not only got to feed the dog, you got to walk the dog. Remember, but it's our dog. No, it's your dog. Yeah, that's a baby. So he knows pretty much how to keep tab on you. Why? So he can do what he wants to do. That's the game. If you didn't know, I just told you. That's why he buys you a dog. Not because it's cute, because he wants to keep tabs on you. Toxic relationships. Yeah. He calls you out your name. He says things to you. Remember, he blames you for stuff. He gets you to say things to make him mad. He has trigger words. He pushes you. Yeah, sometimes pretty much emotionally, sometimes verbally, or physically. Toxic. And if he is hitting you, ma'am, you need to leave. Listen, I'm telling you straight up. I'm married, Pastor Rick. I don't know what to do. Leave. You don't need to be beat. Yeah, you don't need to be beat. Don't put your hands on him, ever. Because he'll throw it back in your face and you'll be going to jail. Do what you need to do to get out of that relationship. Toxic. But I love him. You can love him from afar until he gets his tail together. I gave pretty much a couple of nights ago, I talked about a young lady who got into a relationship. This man opened her up with a knife, literally opened her up. Ambulance came. She died, I think, a number of times on the table. Literally. Got her to pretty much back well. All of a sudden, now, he goes to jail. She pretty much goes back and testifies on his behalf. And guess what they are? Together. He didn't get the help that he needed. Trying to help you. You want to be with a man child? Knock yourself out. Toxic? That's what they are. They're not mature enough pretty much to handle mature relationships, specifically how to argue, how to interact, how to not get upset and blow up and turn into the Hulk when they drink. Don't do that. They smoke the trees. They got the black lips. Talk to me. But until you mature, young lady, you're still going to chase the dude with the pretty much as a sleeve, tattoos down to his, yep, right here, boom, sleeve tattoos. Got the pretty much the tattoos on his neck. Killer. Eyebrow. Got a tattoo over his eyebrow. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue to mess with a man boy. Yeah. Go ahead. Man child, they don't like to mature. Another point. Right here. One of the key elements. Absentee, pretty much the mama's not there. Absentee mothers. They don't know how to interact with women. They never were taught that. You wonder why he calls you out your name? Right there. Before you hook up with anybody, any man, see how he treated or how he treats his mother. If he treats his mother like crap, he's going to treat you like crap. If he cusses out his mother, he's going to cuss you out. If he does all of these things, are pretty much are red flags that your girlfriends tell you about, your pastor tell you about, that yellow pastor on pretty much on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, yeah, TikTok and Facebook. He's trying to warn you. I'm telling you now. I don't know how many times. You want me to tell you in Spanish? Please look at this brother for what he is, not potential. Don't do that. Potential, you will know potential. He works hard. He does what he has to do. He takes care of bills. He's there pretty much when he says he's going to be there. That's potential. Not this. Not this stuff I'm talking about. He latches on to you. You know, if you disappear for like 10 minutes, where you at? Yeah. He's not independent as far as a thinker or even going after the things. If he's lazy, man, that's a red flag right there. If you out hustle him, and listen, this is not being chauvinistic, this is real talk. If he is out hustled by you, that's a problem. No man wants a woman out hustled. No man, none, Zippo. Not in his right mind. A woman out, ma'am, that's ego alone. You can get mad all you want, but that's real true. You don't want that man out hustling you. Yeah. You got potential that he may not have the money, but you see that he grinds. You see it. You see the potential. You don't want to be that. Talk to me, ladies. And if you're just now joining us, thank you so much. We are talking about man-child behaviors to recognize. And we went through a list of stuff. I'm not even done yet. But the absentee mother pretty much is a factor. Look at that. How he treats his mom. I can honestly say most of the young men that I've been around in the ministry or men, that they know how to treat their mothers. Because I wouldn't allow it anymore. I'll clock them. I'm not playing. But that's a sure sign. Even how they treat their sisters, that comes into play. And I'm not saying all families aren't perfect, or rather perfect. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But this is a sure factor. Let's go. How is the man-child in relationships? I mentioned just now. What type of people are they in relationships? What do they do? How they react? Yeah. Are they good people, just in general? Do they love God? You will know if they love God because you'll find out what type of relationship they have with God. As you listen, as you get to know them from over there. Not up close, just observe. Let's move. So expect him to use, listen, your love for him, for him against you. So he'll use your love against him, against you. And I'll say this because anytime you make, listen, a man-child mad, it's simple. He acts out. He acts out. He'll go into a tantrum. So why is that important? Because if he says he loves you and he turns around and cusses you out, that's not love. And then when you say, when I'm leaving, well, you said you loved me. That's the game. They have no control of their emotions. And hence, because they never were taught how to handle their emotions. When young men get around other men, one of the clear things that you always see, young men, they may go through an emotional moment, but they won't live on their emotions, their feelings. This is the society we're in now. This is why there are not a lot of great men out. Yeah, because they live off their emotions. I don't feel like doing that today. Well, that's not how it works. You do, despite how you feel about it. Let me move. Talking to him and having a real conversation is hard because, like a child, many ways, pretty much he has not developed rational thought. Well, that's important to understand. It's like arrested development. He's literally is arrested. His thought pattern is arrested because he never matured, never was challenged. He always wanted to do what he wanted to do. And when you challenge him on a thought, a logical thought, like, hey, how about you don't fight everybody? Well, you see how they looked at me? That's a problem. If you're taking him out and he's wanting to fight your relatives, man-child, you need to leave him. He's going to get you hurt. Yeah. He doesn't have rational thoughts. It's a problem. And so you want to make sure, if anything, that you can have a decent conversation with him without, listen, this is a really good one. Listen, without him always having to be right. I can admit when I'm wrong. My bad. I thought, A, B, and C. Right there. Rational thinking. Can you get a point across without you getting angry? Can you pretty much have this conversation with me? How about a 10th grade level conversation? Let's just start there. But you always have to bring it down to him so you can explain, and you don't want that. You want somebody mature on your level. This is why it gets me with a lot of women. Be honest with you, ladies. Y'all get to an age where you start pretty much dating younger because of the sex. I'm talking to Christian women. I know. I get it. Yes. There's some things you have to do. Real conversations have to come up. Let's move. He expects your love to be unconditional. And mom's love is unconditional, but love in a relationship is not. It's not. It's responsibility. It can become unconditional. But when you have the mindset that pretty much your wife, no matter what you do, you can burn down the world. That's my baby. That's what mothers do. Your wife shouldn't do that. Because you have a responsibility to take care of her, sir. So you have to really think about what you're going to do. So, but a man-child does not understand that. And here we have to pretty much start building up people to understand that in order for you to have a healthy relationship, you got to come out of that mentality. What to do if you are in this relationship? Let's break this down. First thing I'm going to tell you is leave him if you're dating him. Yeah. If you're married, get counseling. If you are married, get counseling. If you are dating him, bye-bye. If you are married, get counseling. That's important. Because I don't speak pretty much say, hey, get a divorce. I'm not quick with that. Not. I will say, get counseling. I will pretty much encourage you to leave him if you're dating him. That's mean. No, it's not your husband. And you're wasting more time trying to help him at this level where God can be lining you up with someone else. I'm just telling you. I love him. What did that have to do with leaving him? It has nothing to do with it. You need to pretty much take a step back and not date this man on that level. Stop dating him. I'm telling you, leave him there while you're dating him. Yes. Let him get the help that he needs to get. And then he can mature to get back into your life. You don't want this man. It doesn't make sense to me. Why waste your time? Leave. If you're married, get counseling. Let me move. How to implement the strategy if you stay with them. This is the married part. Now, even if you decide to stay with them, I'm trying to give you some pointers here. If you decide to stay with them, you got to mature them, right? Okay. First thing I'm going to tell you to do, get a job. J-O-B. Yep. Man-child don't like getting jobs. They live off you and the mama. Pimping. Call it freeloading. Tell him to get a job. Yeah. Another thing. Stop being his mama. Don't do it. Stop being his mama. Stop being his mother. You're not. Why? Why would you want to be his mother? You're not his mama. When he gets a job, he pays for everything. Todo. Yeah. He pays for everything. If you're going to date him, he needs to pay for everything. He needs to pay. Where we going? You paying. I need gas in my car. Don't pay for the gas. He drives. He opens up the door. He pays for that filet mignon and lobster. That's ugly, Rick. I'm just trying to help you. Let me move. God does not support a man-child. He doesn't. You're supposed to man up. Yeah, he needs to man up. Straight up. He doesn't support them. Right here, scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I even thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, listen, I put away childish things. So you stop speaking like a child. You stop thinking like a child. You stop reasoning like a child. You reason like a man. That's scripture. God doesn't support it. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8, and it says, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, that listen, his wife and kids, deadbeat dads, and especially for the members of his household, mom, dad, whoever, members of his household, wife, kids, he is denied the faith. He had denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Another rendition, he is worse than an infidel. Yeah. Man-child, I'm talking. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith. Act like a man. Act like men, it says. Be strong. Man boys are not strong. Man child are not strong. They're weak. Act like one. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. And it says, if anyone isn't willing to work, he's not willing to eat. He should not eat, the scripture says. Another rendition, if a man don't work, man don't eat. Can't do it. Last one. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 31. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast. Hold fast means to pretty much be in that relationship with that wife. And the two shall become one flesh. It is very difficult to become one flesh with a man-child. You want to make sure you do all that you can to get in a relationship that is healthy. that is not abusive, that you're not paying for everything, young lady, that pretty much, you look around, you don't know, pretty much he's always going through. Always. It's an excuse. And you don't want that. Remember, if that man is out there, pretty much, if you are out hustling the man, that's a problem. I'm not saying that you can't run into stuff and go through things and not be there. There are certain situations, yes. But when the Holy Spirit tells you, mm-mm, this ain't it. And you need to know the difference. You need to know the difference. This is man-child behaviors to recognize. My name is Ricardo Arce. I hope you were blessed tonight. I'm going to take some questions or some statements if you have any. I hope you're still on with me. I know people will come in and out, but I just want to make sure. Reggie was saying this facts. It's lit. All right. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Arce. Appreciate it. But any questions that you may have, I may take wherever you are, Twitter, Twitch, what's going on, YouTube, Facebook, and I'm sorry, TikTok phone ran out. My bad. Any questions? Cool. Okay. Well, listen, it's been fun. I enjoyed myself tonight. I hope that you were blessed by this. I hope you join me on tomorrow night's Bible study. I'm going to be getting to deep word. Keep in mind, start our fast on Sunday, this Sunday. I'm going to go for 21 days. If you want to join me, you're more than welcome. I'll give you information on what to do and how to do it. I'll be going over fasting very soon, next couple of days. But tomorrow night, join me for our Bible study right here on the same channel, 7 o'clock. My name is Ricardo Arce. I hope that you learned something. I hope you got something from this tonight. Please be encouraged. Listen, you don't want to jump into any relationship that is going to stress you out, constantly stressing you out. That's a problem. That's a problem. You don't want to end up with the man-child. I hope to see you on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. This is LOVEWORKS. My name is Ricardo Arce. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful night.